No grown man should be going for brunch. Assuming he's got any testosterone whatsoever. It's really something that unemployed women should be doing, brunch. So I'm fucking glad it wasn't my idea. Fucking brunch. Right, it's me again. We're going to be taking off the rear drums, giving them a little clean up. There's a little bit of rust on them, they're not too bad, they're only 2 years old, but they do tend to go bad quite quickly. So we need to get these off. T40. Last time I took these off on the previous cars, they'd been on for about 6 years and they were all rust and absolutely welded on with rust around there, and it took fire, cold, spray, beatings, and I feel these are going to be exactly the same. So we'll have a little spray of stamp around there, we'll get a rubber hammer, we'll give it a little beating. We'll just let it sit there and soak in for a bit. Now obviously the handbrake is off, otherwise that wouldn't move. And if they're old enough, there's a possibility that there can be a groove on the inside and the brake pads or shoes for the rear could be actually in the groove. But these aren't old enough, so it is literally just being held on by the rust in the centre ball. Oh, it changed noise. When the noise changes, you know it's loose. As expected, there's almost no wear on these at all. Being an electric drive model, I very rarely ever use the brakes, so these have still got a good 6mm wear on them, which is probably what they were when they were new. Now obviously all the dust that's in here is from brake shoes, so be careful what you breathe. Ideally you want to do a Rain Man Ray and just spray the fuck out of it with the brake cleaner, but that just makes a horrendous mess and costs a lot of money. So while this is off, we'll just clean the inside of that hub. As you can see on the outside, it's actually not too bad. The inside, that's fairly standard. So instead of using a wire brush by hand, I've got a nice little high-speed mains powered tool that'll do quite well on this, I think. Let's give it a go. And when you're using a wire wheel on a bench grinder like this, always wear those, because these wires do break and they will pierce your eyeball very easily. I'll show you a quick look at these. You can see that's all the rust gone on that. I just need to, it's a bit awkward with this because it's all a bit enclosed. If you've got a grinder with a wire wheel on it, that's actually a little bit better. More dangerous, but it does a better job because you can actually get into all the spaces. Getting there, just still needs a little bit of something. Right, I've pulled out the wheel of certain death. The problem with these is, like with this one, this has got rapid stop. And the inertia of the reel, when it does stop, it tends to spin off and then goes over there somewhere. I was absolutely getting peppered with bits of broken wire wheel there. Ow! I mean, obviously you can buy new ones. That saves you a lot of messing around, so you could just do that. But they are about 120 quid a go. Now, I'm sure you can probably get aftermarket ones, but I haven't really made an effort to look, but I haven't seen them. Also worth noting that the brake drum, well, if it makes that noise, if it makes a nice ting noise, it means it's fine. If it makes a dull thud, then it's broken. The brake drum for the 4.2 is smaller than the brake drum for the 4.4. Slightly different design on the outside. If you want to fit the larger brake drums from the 4.4, you can. All you have to do is just change the backing plate. So you literally just unbolt the 4 bolts, hold the hub in place, slide that out, slide that backing plate, put the new backing plate in, bolt it all in, put the larger, well, everything. The shoes will sit out slightly further, but if you can be bothered. In fact, I can show you the difference. As you can see, that's a lot bigger. And it is just held on. Spinner, get away. It's just held on by those 4. So you've got to do is take those off. Obviously change the handbrake cable over. You'll have to unplug, disconnect the brake cylinder. But yeah, considering the size difference, it'll give you a little bit more braking if you really, really wanted that, of course. Now, obviously, before you paint anything, give it a damn good clean, because there's still going to be oil and all that sort of shit all over it. Right, now you could just spray that, or how about we do something else? How about, instead of spraying, we do a little bit of powder coating. I was going to order some new powder coat, but I forgot to, so instead I actually looked for my old powder coat and found it. Now, I was looking at the colours, I thought that says Dutch Chaos. I'm not quite sure what Dutch Chaos is supposed to be. No, it's black gloss. It's just somebody can't read. All right. The other colour is probably not really suitable for what I'm doing. It might look a bit weird. I've got white. Nobody really wants white. Orange might stand out a bit too much. Red. And for some reason, I don't really know my thinking. Antique copper. Don't really need antique copper. If it was bronze, I've probably gone for bronze. But now we'll go with a bit of a Dutch Chaos. Okay, this works by magic. It creates a static field in the part, and that draws in the powder as it comes out the gun, and it makes it stick to it. So it's almost impossible to overspray something because the powder just won't stick to it. I mean, you have to be careful. You can't pick it up and bang it against anything, otherwise the powder falls off. And also masking is very easy. Ideally, we don't want anything on that face. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put something there just to stop the powder from resting on it. And the gun, what it does, it picks the static up from the air and the magic things that run past it. I don't really know, to be honest. So all you got to do is, this needs to be connected to the metal piece. It doesn't have to be directly to it, so I just connect it to the bit that's going to go into the oven, and that makes a good enough contact. Now, you really do need to wear respiration for this, because obviously powders, they can go absolutely everywhere. Now, Still got some black in there. I'll stick a bit more in. It's incredibly fine powder. And you don't really want to powder coat your lungs. The part just clips on the side of the gun. And then we need pressure from yeah, just need to connect it to a compressor, and then literally it needs to be up the right way, of course. This shit gets absolutely everywhere. Right, this powder, literally, you only got to knock it and that will come off. So you've got to be very careful. And if you look, you can literally brush it. It's incredibly fine. Right, now what we need to do is get yourself a little cheapy oven. 200 degrees, just turn it on. Heat it from the top and the bottom. We just need to let that heat up. Right, while that is heating up, I'm just going to tidy the edge. And the people who do this for a living, I've seen them when they're doing alloy wheels. They'll spray it all on. They've got a tiny little hoover, tiny little vacuum cleaner, and they can take off tiny bits for accents. It looks incredibly hard to do, but also very impressive. So that's the face all cleared out. Just gotta wait for this thing here to heat up. Right, you don't need to let it heat up long, because it's not like food. You're not cooking it for a certain amount of time. Again, just be careful not to knock it. And what you're doing is just leaving it in there. Set it to 200 degrees or whatever it says on the packet. Mine is actually 180 degrees ish. So I don't believe this will get up to proper temperature anyway, so I'll leave it at 200. And you keep an eye on it and you wait for it to start going glossy. Now, as soon as it is glossy, as far as you can see, all over, 10 minutes, and then turn it off. Okay, it started going glossy. So I've stuck it to 10 minutes. I just have to wait for it to go ping.
Moments later.
Right, it's done the ping, and now you need to do, let it cool down. Just leave it there as it is. Give it what, 20 minutes or so until it's cold enough to touch, and that'll be the paint set. So let's come back in a bit. Right, I've opened the oven. I've taken it out because it's been like an hour, and it's still really fucking hot. But the paint has gone hard, so that's all right. Just gotta let it cool down so I can actually handle it to put it back on the car. Currently it's probably 70 degrees. Yeah, it's nice and come out all shiny. Obviously you're not going to get decent smoothness in the areas where it's cast. It's just be sand cast. But in the areas where it's been machined, you can actually see the shininess of it. And it's, compared to paint, it's actually quite a thick, strong coating as well. It just takes so long to cool down. Who would have thought that a massive piece of metal would hold heat for that long? I've got board waiting. It's still very, very hot, but not enough to actually burn me. Actually, I've changed my mind. That is burning. As you remember, we had problems getting off because of the rust that was on the inside. We've cleaned it off. So what we're going to do is place a little bit of copper grease against the inner bore and the mating face, just so if we need to take it off again, we don't need to smash the granny out of it. Line those holes up. And the reason we didn't want any of this face to have the powder coat on, yes, it would look nice, yes, it'd stop it from going rusty, but you don't want an extra layer that could possibly break down between the mating faces of the wheel and the hub, because it only takes a little bit of rust to get in there, it falls out, and next thing you know, you've got a couple of thousandths where you get a bit of movement and that sort of stuff. So it's better just not to have any paint in there at all. That's looking nice. Now what I'm going to do is, you can see on the inside here where it rusts against that. So just a very light amount, try not to get any in where the bolts will be going through. These wheels do need a damn good clean. I think the car wasn't particularly clean often, and I think it sat in the Copart lot for over a month. We've had sandstorms and stuff. There you go. All nice and black. Nice and shiny. And also nice and strong. I'm going to let the jack down, tighten these up to the correct specs, and then do the other side. Joy. So we're going from silver, stands out a bit too much. Nobody wants to make a song and dance about the fact they've got drums on the back. It's a nice glossy black. So much better. Can somebody tell me, what's the point? What does it do? Is it for standing stuff up in there? I don't know. Obviously it's not going to stop you in a crash. Why is he trying? Is it for putting your bottles in? What? I don't understand.